Alright guys, and welcome back to Little Lawton Gaming Channel. Today we have Season 8 of our 10 seasons in My Team Career Mode. Lando Norris and McLaren have complete control over Formula 1 at the moment. Can anybody stop them? We're about to find out, but first, let's get into some of those driver changes. So silly season well and truly kicked off in Formula 1 this season, where Guan Yu Zhou was released by Mercedes. That allowed Max Verstappen to pick up the Mercedes seat, leaving Red Bull and giving Sebastian Vettel the chance to leave McLaren and return home to Red Bull. Guan Yu Zhou didn't go without a seat though, as he picked up Vettel's McLaren seat. Dan Ticktum was also released though this season from Alfa Romeo. He did not however pick up a seat. Robert Schwartzman moved from Williams to Alfa Romeo, which allowed Latifi to leave Red Bull and go back to Williams. Lando Norris left McLaren and replaced Latifi at Red Bull, which means McLaren's driver lineup from last season is now driving for Red Bull. And Théo Pourchaire was promoted from F2 and he took Lando Norris's seat at McLaren. And after all that craziness, we headed to Bahrain, where they may have lost their driver lineup, but they haven't lost the quality car. Théo Pourchaire wins ahead of George Russell. Guan Yu Zhou got on the podium in 3rd. Max Verstappen was 4th. Sainz 5th. Magnussen 6th. Tsunoda 7th. Gasly 8th. Vettel 9th. And Oscar Piastri finished in 10th. After a great start to the season for McLaren, Saudi Arabia didn't offer as much happiness. Lando Norris picked up victory in his Red Bull. George Russell was 2nd, Max Verstappen rounded off the podium in 3rd, Sainz 4th, Vettel 5th, Zhou 6th, Pourchaire 7th, Magnussen 8th, Gasly 9th, and Yuri Vips got that final point in 10th. This looks like it's going to be a bit of a humdinger of a season, as Pourchaire this time picks up victory in the McLaren ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who finished 2nd. Lando Norris was 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Magnussen 5th, Sainz 6th, Zhou 7th, Russell 8th, Gasly 9th, and Vips was 10th. Along comes Imola and the sprint race, where Théo Pourchaire picked up the victory ahead of Guan Yu Zhou. Russell was 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Norris 5th, Sainz 6th, Magnussen 7th, and Liam Lawson got the final point for Haas in 8th. And all that meant in the Grand Prix, Théo Pourchaire picked up the victory ahead of Guan Yu Zhou in 2nd, Verstappen rounded off the podium in 3rd, Norris was 4th, Russell 5th, Sainz 6th, Magnussen 7th, Tsunoda 8th, Lawson 9th, and Gasly finished in 10th. Miami up next, and McLaren have found their form. Théo Pourchaire with yet another victory this season. Zhou was 2nd, Russell 3rd, Norris 4th, Verstappen 5th, Sainz 6th, Magnussen 7th, Lawson 8th, Vips 9th, and Gasly was in 10th. Théo Pourchaire could be onto a debut season World Championship. And so, after 5 races, Théo Pourchaire leads the way, 42 points ahead of teammate Guan Yu Zhou in 2nd, Russell is 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Norris 5th, Sainz 6th, Magnussen 7th, Vettel 8th, Tsunoda 9th, and Gasly rounds off the top 10. And in the Constructors' Championship, McLaren have 188 points, 47 more than Mercedes in 2nd, Red Bull 3rd, Ferrari 4th, Haas 5th, Alpha Tauri 6th, Williams 7th, Alfa Romeo 8th, and Alpine and Aston Martin are both yet to score. Along comes Spain, where Théo Pourchaire picks up victory again. George Russell was 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, Zhou 4th, Vettel 5th, Sainz 6th. Schumacher gets Aston Martin their first points of the season. Lawson was 8th, Gasly 9th, and Stroll finished in 10th. It's a very dominant start of the season for Théo Pourchaire as he wins in Monaco. Zhou is 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, Russell 4th, Sainz 5th, Magnussen 6th, Stroll 7th, Norris 8th, Piastri back in the points in 9th, and Vettel rounds off a very disappointing weekend for Red Bull in 10th. Another race weekend, another race victory for Théo Pourchaire as he wins in Azerbaijan. Guan Yu Zhou was 2nd, Norris gets on the podium for Red Bull, Verstappen was 4th, Magnussen 5th, Vettel 6th, Russell 7th, Stroll 8th, Gasly 9th, and Albon picks up Alpine's first point of the season. He's flying along now as we go to Canada, and you guessed it, Pourchaire wins the Grand Prix. Norris is 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, Zhou 4th, Russell 5th, Magnussen 6th, Lawson 7th, Vettel 8th, Sainz 9th, and Vips rounds off the points in 10th. His winning run comes to an end as Lando Norris wins in Britain for Red Bull. George Russell makes it a British one too. Théo Pourchaire does, however, get on the podium in 3rd. Zhou was 4th, Sainz 5th, Verstappen 6th, Gasly 7th, Tsunoda 8th, Vettel 9th, and Felipe Drugovich picks up his first point of the season in 10th. Sprint weekend number 2 now in Austria, and Pourchaire wins the sprint race ahead of Russell. Zhou was 3rd, Norris 4th, Verstappen 5th, Vettel 6th, Magnussen 7th, and Sainz picked up the final point in 8th. And in the Grand Prix, Pourchaire did pick up the victory ahead of Zhou in 2nd, Verstappen was 3rd, Russell 4th, Norris 5th, Sainz 6th, Vettel 7th, Magnussen 8th, Stroll 9th, and Vips finished in 10th. Now at this point it's contract renewal time, and for the first time we've had some movement. However, Théo Pourchaire was released by McLaren. Leading the Drivers' Championship, Théo Pourchaire was released by McLaren, and Pierre Gasly got that seat, which is great for him. Robert Schwartzman then only just moved to Alfa Romeo from Williams, went back to Williams, and Dan Ticktum went to Alfa Romeo. So having got rid of one Frenchman and replaced him with another, that Frenchman wins the French Grand Prix. Gasly picked it up. Zhou was 2nd, Norris 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Russell 5th, Magnussen 6th, Stroll 7th, Lawson 8th, Tsunoda 9th, and Ocon got his first point of the season in 10th. Théo Pourchaire has had a Drivers' Championship seemingly ripped from his grasp. Who's going to win it now though? And in the final race before the mid-season break, Pierre Gasly wins in Hungary ahead of Max Verstappen in 2nd, Zhou is 3rd, Norris 4th, Magnussen 5th, Sainz 6th, Vettel 7th, Lawson 8th, Stroll 9th, and Tsunoda finished in 10th. So at the mid-season break, Pourchaire does still technically lead the Drivers' Championship, 64 points ahead of Guan Yu Zhou in 2nd, Max Verstappen is 3rd, Lando Norris 4th, Russell 5th, Sainz 6th, Magnussen 7th. Gasly's down in 8th, could he potentially catch up? Who knows, Vettel is 9th and Lawson is in 10th. And in the Constructors, McLaren have a 170 point lead ahead of Mercedes in 2nd, Red Bull 3rd, Ferrari 4th, Alpha Tauri 5th, Haas 6th, Williams 7th, Aston Martin 8th, Alfa Romeo 9th, and Alpine sit in 10th. So after a bit of time to rejig the cars, it is Lando Norris and Red Bull who come out with victory in Belgium. Kevin Magnussen finished 2nd and Carlos Sainz rounded off the podium with both Ferraris getting on there. Zhou was 4th, Verstappen 5th, Gasly 6th, Vettel 7th, Russell 8th, Drugovich 9th, and Stroll finished in 10th. But next up we headed to Netherlands, and it's back to winning ways for McLaren and Pierre Gasly as they win ahead of George Russell in 2nd, Verstappen was 3rd, Zhou 4th, Magnussen 5th, Norris 6th, Vettel 7th, Tsunoda 8th, Stroll 9th, and Sainz finished in 10th. Around Monza we go next, and Pierre Gasly with yet another victory in that McLaren. Lando Norris is 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, Russell 4th, Zhou 5th, Magnussen 6th, Sainz 7th, Lawson 8th, Schumacher 9th, and Vettel finished in 10th. The Asian leg starts now in Singapore, and Gasly is at the front yet again with another victory. Max Verstappen was 2nd, Zhou rounded off the podium in 3rd, Norris 4th, Sainz 5th, Russell 6th, Magnussen 7th, Vettel 8th, Lawson 9th, and Piastri finished in 10th. Japan up next, and Gasly is on a charge. Is it possible for him to catch up to the leaders? Who knows, but he does win in Japan. Norris is 2nd, Zhou 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Sainz 5th, Vips up in 6th for Haas, great race from him, Russell 7th, Schumacher 8th, Magnussen 9th, and Lawson finished in 10th. Across the pond we go to America, and yet again it's Pierre Gasly at the front. Verstappen was 2nd, Zhou 3rd, Russell 4th, Norris 5th, Vettel 6th, Vips 7th, Sainz 8th, Stroll 9th, and Liam Lawson is in 10th. So with 3 races to go, it is Guan Yu Zhou who leads the Drivers' Championship. 8 points separate him and Max Verstappen. Théo Pourchaire sits in 3rd, but he will not be improving on that 266 point haul he has. Lando Norris is only 16 points off the pace in 4th. Russell is 5th. Pierre Gasly 6th. Unlikely though, he is 74 points off. He would need everybody else basically not to score for the rest of the season. Sainz was 7th, Magnussen 8th, Vettel 9th, and Lawson rounds off the top 10. And in the Constructors' Championship, McLaren once again dominating at the top, 235 points ahead of Mercedes in 2nd, Red Bull 3rd, Ferrari 4th, Haas 5th, AlphaTauri 6th, Williams 7th, Aston Martin 8th, Alfa Romeo 9th, and Alpine on just 2 points sit in 10th. Time for the final sprint weekend of the season. Pierre Gasly wins the sprint in Brazil. Lando Norris was 2nd, Russell 3rd, Zhou 4th, Verstappen 5th, Sainz 6th, Magnussen 7th, and Vettel was 8th. And all that led to the Grand Prix where Pierre Gasly picked up victory. Russell was 2nd, Norris 3rd, Sainz 4th, Vettel 5th, Zhou 6th, Magnussen 7th, Piastri 8th, Vips 9th, and Stroll finished in 10th. And into Abu Dhabi we go, where George Russell picks up a shock victory. Gasly was 2nd, Norris on the podium. He's done well, getting 3rd. Vettel 4th, Sainz 5th, Magnussen 6th, Schumacher 7th, Drugovich 8th, Lawson 9th, and Vips 10th. There's no Verstappen, and there is no, more importantly, Guan Yu Zhou. He's done it again. Lando Norris is the World Driver Champion for Red Bull. Yes, indeed, in the end, Guan Yu Zhou had a mechanical failure which led to Lando Norris, that 3rd place, being enough to win the Drivers' Championship by 5 points. Max Verstappen 3rd, Gasly was in 4th, Russell was 5th, Théo Pourchaire, having not driven most of the season, still finished in 6th, Sainz 7th, Magnussen 8th, Vettel 9th, and Liam Lawson rounded off the top 10. And not that it needs much checking, but McLaren do indeed win the Constructors' Championship, 269 points ahead of Mercedes in 2nd, Red Bull were 3rd, Ferrari 4th, Haas 5th, AlphaTauri 6th, Aston Martin 7th, Williams 8th, Alfa Romeo were 9th, and Alpine finished bottom of the pile in 10th. And there you have it. You can take the man out of McLaren, but you can't take the McLaren out of the man. Lando Norris has won the Drivers' Championship yet again. I'm not going to sit here and say if Théo Pourchaire hadn't stayed for the whole season, he wasn't going to go on to win it. Lando got a lot of luck there, but he'll need a lot more if he's going to retain it next season. Surely Pierre Gasly heads into that season as favourite for the Drivers' Championship. We'll just have to wait and see if he can deliver. Until then though, if you've enjoyed the video, please do drop it a like and give the channel a subscribe. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys later.